Kith and Marvel are at it again. The Olympics have finally started, and Tyler the Creator gets a collaboration with Clarks. All this and more in the weekly recap. What's good, Kid Crew? It's Dwayne here with another week of the weekly recap for the ending week of week 30. We got a lot, so stay tuned. First up on the weekly recap, Joe Freshgoods debuts A Friend Called Cousin in Paris. Now this is a 990 V6 collaboration in 2 colorways. Now the collection is beautiful, and the way they unveiled it was actually at a gallery in Paris. I first seen something about the collection last week. Sorry, I know I didn't mention it in the weekly roundup, but I first seen it then, but I didn't know much of the context or the story. But this week on Monday, we got a lot of information. We got some visuals, and we also seen something on the New Balance Social Club page that showed what the gallery was going to look like. Speaking of the gallery is set up in Paris, which opened up on the 26th and is going to remain there until the 30th. Now, as far as we know, the shoes are already sold out in the Paris red and the prom blue, but we have no idea if New Balance is going to do a wider release. As far as we know right now, they only released at that Paris pop-up. EQL has opened up on these pairs, and I definitely put my bid in, so wish me luck. Now, if you don't want to wait for them and you gotta have them, pairs are listed from anywhere from $400 to $600 in both colorways. So if you want them that bad, you know where to go to get them. The shoes, the photography, and the gallery were all a work of art. Joe Freshgoods, keep doing your thing, brother. Kith and Marvel are back at it again with their Super Villains pack. Now, I gotta first look at this earlier this week, and I gotta say, I need all of them. So there are 3 different models that are going to be used. There are going to be a ASICS GT 2160, a Gel 1130, and a Kayano 14. Villains featured will include the Green Goblin, which is an ASICS GT 2160, Venom, which is also another GT 2160, Magneto, which is a Gel 1130, Silver Surfer, which is a Gel Kayano 14. Now, Spider-Man is a part of this pack, but it's a 2-pack with Venom. So Spider-Man versus Venom pack, which I think is absolute fire. The entire collection is amazing, from the colorways to the packaging and the 24 different comic book options that you can get. Now, some of these, a select few, will be PSA graded comics. So if you are into that, and especially comic collectibles, this is the first time you'll get an encapsulated PSA graded comic book. Now, with all these colorways and all these dope villains, which one of these catches your eye the most? Which one is a must-have for you? Comment down below. One thing I do like about this pack compared to last year's pack, which was the X-Men pack, you actually know which one you're getting. The only surprise is what comic you're getting and if it's going to be PSA graded or not. Another plus about this collection is the colorways are good as is. If this was not a collab with Marvel, these would still be great and wearable colorways. Be sure to comment down below to let me know which one of these are a must cop for you. Now, if I'm honest, I need all 5. Now, on other sneaker news, we all know that the Air Jordan 1 Bred, probably the most iconic Jordan 1 colorway ever, is re-releasing next year in 2025 in the 85 cut. But what we didn't expect was a $250 price tag associated with it. Now, I'm not going to front like we're not going to buy it and it's not going to sell out. But Jordan Brand, come on. You are killing us, especially next year. And we're going to get to that later in the recap. But $250 for a Jordan 1 is completely outrageous. Now, unfortunately, we have no choice but to cop at this price because they're definitely going to sell out. And it is MJ's very first colorway with that iconic commercial associated with it.
On October 18th, the NBA threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them.
Now, in other sneaker news, it's about time. Big shouts out to the DMV they are getting their own Foamposite. And if you don't know what the DMV is, that is the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. They've been rocking Foamposites really heavy forever, and they are finally getting blessed with their own Foamposite. Now, I must say, it is kind of meh. And what it does look like is a pearl slash polarized pink colorway merged together with DMV on the heel tab. Now, I do think they could have did a lot more to make this a bit more DMV-esque, but big shouts out to the DMV. I can't wait to see these in hand, and I might grab a pair. Who knows? In other Foamposite news, we are getting a Tekken 8 Foamposite 1 in the Kazuya Mishima colorway. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Tekken, it is a fighting game that I actually took a liking to once I got my first PlayStation. I was a big Street Fighter fan, and Street Fighters was not on the PS1, so Tekken was my alternate. But more about the shoe. The sneaker is made up of a navy blue slash plum, iridescent color with a black graphic over top. Now, I gotta say, the graphic is very minimal, so it does not look bad compared to other, especially other graphic Foamposites. But I gotta say, this pair looks really good. But what premiered this week was the potential of another colorway, a white colorway, the Jin Kazama colorway. Now, if you don't know about Tekken, Jin is the son of Kazuya Mishima, who are actually like enemies of each other, but I'll dive into that another day. But the Jin Kazama colorway was premiered in a ad where all the players were wearing the white Foamposites. But I thought that was a really good look, a great way to integrate the actual sneaker into the game. We do not know if this colorway is going to release, but I think it would be a good contrast to the Kazuya Mishima's Foamposite that is releasing. And a lot of people have asked, like, what does Tekken and sneakers have to do with anything? Kazuya Mishima is actually a huge sneakerhead, and at the end of Tekken 8, it briefly shows his sneaker gallery. And that man got them all. Now, last week, a part of the recap, I talked about some of the attire the men and women of the Olympics were going to be wearing, and I talked about some of the shoes. There was an Air Max 1 and also an Air Max DN, and I said I hope they release. Well, this week on Friday, the Air Max DN in the USA colorway released. Now, although I did not cop yet, there are still a full-size run online, and I plan to cop soon. So look forward to that review. In other Olympic news, LeBron premieres the LeBron 22 at a practice in Paris. Now, the colorway he donned was a predominantly white and navy blue colorway with some red accents, which I think they look okay. Like, the last couple of LeBrons have been decent. This one is more meh to me as well. But not only did LeBron wear these, A'ja Wilson pulled out another USA colorway in the predominantly red pair. Now, what I think would have been really dope is if they had one shoe that was red and the other shoe that was blue with the white accents. I think that would have set it off a lot better. But comment down below, which one of these LeBron 22s do you think looks good? And are you going for a pair when these release to the public? This week, we got a clean look at the upcoming Olive Air Jordan 9. Now, this is a sneaker that a lot of us have been waiting for, and the last time we seen this sneaker was 2012. So it's been 12 years since this sneaker has released. Now, it did release in like a boot iteration like a year or two ago, but nobody wanted that in its set. I'm curious to see how this does. It is an Air Jordan 9. It is a highly coveted colorway, but I could see these sitting. Now, for me, I'm definitely going to grab a pair. I can't wait to see them in hand. And do you plan on going for this pair? Now, speaking of official images, we did get brand new pics of the Nike Kobe 4 Pro-Tro Gold Medal. Now, I'm going to be honest, the Pro-Tro 4, the Kobe 4 Pro-Tro is not one of my favorite models, but I gotta say these look clean. There are some details that I really like that I'll dive into in just a moment, but this sneaker does release August 5th for the price of $190. Now, I know that's gonna make a lot of hoopers happy, and I'm gonna let the hoopers have it because this is not a sneaker that I plan on wearing, and I don't really hoop, so I'm gonna let the hoopers get it. Now, some of the details that I do like with this are the gold metal insoles, the snakeskin debossing on the mud guards in the front end and the back, and also the navy blue mesh on the tongue, just to name a few. Now, I hope everybody who wants a pair of these actually grab them because I don't know how limited they're going to be, but I know these will be highly coveted. Now, other sneaker news, I know you guys have been seeing these all around for a while, but we got official looks at the A Ma Maniére Air Jordan 3. I know we talked about the 4 last week. We're going to talk about it briefly today, but let's focus in on the 3. A Ma Maniére does celebrate its 10-year anniversary this year, and I believe the Jordan 3 and the 4 is going to be part of that celebration, especially with how they now have a new box more so. Now, if you are familiar with the brand, you know the logo. There's an A logo, but for this 10-year anniversary, it seems that they've added a little circle or almost like a halo below that A logo. Now, we know that A logo is typically underlined. That underline and that halo under it looks like a 10. To me, I could be taking a guess. I do not know if this is factual, but it looks like it represents A Ma Maniére 10. Now, this shoe does don a lot of the same accents as the first Air Jordan 3 that came out, which are some of the shaggy suedes, the Nike Air on the back tab, and aging on the sole. Now, a lot of differences are in the shoe as well. The shoe is predominantly black, and we do have some of that violet ore colorway peeking through, and the sneaker sock liner and insole has that meticulous A repeated over that we've seen in recent A Ma Maniére collabs. These are slated to come with 3 pairs of laces, a cream, a black, and a violet ore color. This is a very, very nice shoe, a shoe that I definitely want in my collection. I do believe the price point is going to be around that $250 mark because it is a collab, and I think the last one was $252. So if you want these, be on the lookout. Turn on your post notifications. Maybe this will be an easier cop than the last 3, but we never know. Also, since we're talking about A Ma Maniére, we do have some new pictures of the Air Jordan 4. Let's take a quick look at them here. I definitely think these are a very, very clean shoe. I like some of the details. We get a nice look at the tongue tags with that dual branding. Very clean, very nice pair. Definitely want to add it to my collection. If I'm 100% honest, I was not a big fan of the first Air Jordan 4, but definitely a big fan of this one. Tyler, the Creator's Golf Wing brand is partnering with Clarks on a new Wallaby, and I gotta say, these look fantastic. Now, although I'm not a wearer of Wallabies, I can admire the beauty of the Wallaby and the historic presence that the Wallaby has had in hip-hop culture. But I gotta say, these look good. These are slated to come in 3 colorways. We have a key lime green colorway, we have a powder pink colorway, and we have a black colorway. Now, these all have hearts embossed on them, raised up. The material looks really nice. Seems to be a nice suede, and you know the Clarks always have that crepe sole. These look very, very, very nice. They got the dual branding with the golf heart and the Clarks tab. Yeah, I think they look very clean. I can definitely understand why Clarks and Tyler did a collab together. Tyler's aesthetic fits Clarks so well, so it was just a no-brainer. It actually took them way too long to do this. But is this a pair you're going for? I can't wait to see some outfits put with these. I'm looking at these more and I'm thinking I might actually try to grab a pair. Like I said, I've never even owned a pair. I've always admired them from afar. But the powder pink and the key lime is they kind of calling me. So I might end up grabbing a pair of these. Now, in more Olympic news, Pharrell Williams, we all know him as the head of men's fashion and design at Louis Vuitton. He was also one of the final torchbearers or torchbearer for the Olympics. Now, in this picture here, we see the torch in this Louis Vuitton luggage box that looks amazing. But what's also as amazing is these Adizeros that he's wearing. And I don't know if this is an official like Pharrell or Human Race collab with Adidas, but he is wearing this shoe as the final torchbearer for the Olympics. All right, in more Jordan news, it looks like summer 2025 is going to be crazy and Jordan Brand is coming for our pockets. Let's take a look at some of the sneakers that are supposedly releasing during that time. Now we have the undefeated 4s that are supposed to be releasing and the white cement 4s. Now, for those that know me know that I'm not a huge 4 fan, but these are 2 4s that I gotta have in my collection. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm definitely gonna have to double up on that white cement. Also, we're getting a UNC Reimagined and a Trophy Room 6. We have no idea what that's gonna look like, but we are slated to see those. The Air Jordan Grape 5 is coming back, and I need that too. I'm not a big fan of 5s, there are only select 5s. But I'm grabbing those, and I'm grabbing the metallic 5s next year too. We also have a look at the Aqua 8s that are coming back. We have some Jordan 1s that are coming. One in varsity black and red, which is supposed to be a women's exclusive. This colorway doesn't look good. And the reverse shadow colorway, never was a fan of that. It's coming back in the 85 colorway. We are getting the OG steel colorway, Jordan 10, with the toe cap. Now, there's been a lot of controversy. People like it, people don't. This is the original specs of the Air Jordan 10. So we're getting it in that classic steel colorway. I'm still on the fence about grabbing these, but it's a maybe. We also getting the Air Jordan 12 Mellow colorway. I always thought that was a very clean, very dope colorway. Great for the summer. And since it's released in summer 2025, it might be a cop for me. We got some Air Jordan 3s that are coming out. One's being called the Lucky Shorts. And the other one is being called Chili Red. Now these are speculative colorways. They're both a pass for me right now, but I would like to see what they actually look like when it's around that time for them to come out. 211 lows that are both going to be a pass for me. I know, especially for the one I'm about to mention, this bread low. Y'all are probably looking at me crazy, but not too big of a fan on lows, if I'm honest. But the women's Igloo colorway is kind of clean. We got some Jordan 1 OG lows, one in the Stealth colorway, which is this gray, or more so grayed out colorway. It's cool. Will it be for me? Probably not. Just like that Air Jordan 4 Paris was not for me. The wet cement, wasn't a big fan of that. Now this Phantom colorway, I'm curious to see what it actually looks like, but if it does look similar to this, I might cop. Now, what's funny is we're getting an Air Jordan 1 Rust Pink, which we got one a few years back, and I actually unDS'd that sneaker for the first time very recently, earlier this week. So it's slated to look like this, except for a white toe box. It's still going to be in the low, perhaps a possible white tongue. Now I wish we were getting that OG big swoosh back, but I guess we stuck with the little swoosh for now. And we got more 5s coming in. We got this metallic gold that's supposed to be a women's exclusive, and we have a diffused blue Alma Meniere 5. Now if you remember when they were teasing the Alma Meniere 5s, or when they were ready to release the Alma Meniere 5s, was it last year? They showed 3 colorways but only released 2. So this is possibly that 3rd colorway that was not released, and this is the mock-up of it, and it looks very similar to the one from last year. Now we got another women's 3 and 4. They're both a pass for me. They're probably not even going to come in my size. They're good. They're great neutral colorways, but pass for me. Now 13, we got this Dongdan colorway. I'm good. Now, Ferrari 14 is a sneaker that I always admired, but I've never had on my foot. I might go for it if I like the way they look on my feet, but I'm not big on that shoe. That was a long list of all the Jordan releases for 2025, well, summer 2025, but comment down below which one is a need for you and which one you could do without. Now, other Olympic news, we got some outfits and some sneakers to talk about. Now, we all know USA was decked out in full Ralph Lauren outfits, but one that stuck out to me that I thought looked really well was Liberia's clothes that was designed by Telfar Clemens. Now, I'm sure a lot of you already know who Telfar is by the bag, but he's also a fashion designer, not just the bags. And he is Liberian, and he laced Liberia with some very dope outfits. But also, in other sneaker news, Snoop Dogg was a torchbearer. We talked about torchbearer earlier, which was Pharrell, but now we're going to talk about Snoop, and he definitely carried the torch in style, rocking a pair of all gold Skechers. We all know Snoop likes to get to the bag, and right now he has a deal with Skechers, and he made sure they were front and center during his torchbearer walk. Now, one thing I gotta say is Snoop made it look like fun. He carried the torch, he was dancing with it. It looked like fun. I would definitely want to carry the torch after Snoop. Alexander John teams up with Reebok and Rubik's Cube to celebrate Rubik's 50 years of existence. It's crazy for me to even believe that the Rubik's Cube has been around so long. But they teamed up together. Alexander John created a Club C85 and a Reebok Pump Zone 2. Now these are not going to release to the public, but they are dope. I wish they were. These are very rare though. They're only going to be 5 pairs in each. So it's only 5 Club C's and it's only 5 Reebok Pumps in existence. So for all those execs and CEOs that are getting them, if you're a size 11 and you don't want them, holla at your boy, because I'll take them. Big shouts out to Alexander John. These turned out phenomenal. Keep doing all the dope work you've been doing. I've been following you for so long. Big inspiration. Keep doing your thing, bro. In lieu of the Olympics, Complex has created a top 20 list of the best Olympic sneakers ever in existence. And over the next couple of weeks, since we have a few weeks, I'm going to be talking about some of the pairs off that. Now, one of the pairs on this list that I will mention is Michael Johnson's Gold Spike. That, me as a track runner growing up, that was so iconic to me. But to check out more of the list, be sure to stay tuned for the weekly recap next week. And before I leave, I'm going to leave off with this quote. Today's quote of the day is, mindset is what separates the best from the rest. So make sure you got your head in the game and it's on tight on your adventure to success. All right. So stay focused. I'll see you guys next week for the weekly recap of week 31. This is Dwayne, your host, signing out. Peace.
Be sure to subscribe, drop a like, share this with some of your favorite people, and we'll see you next week.